Hello and welcome to my world of crochet. My name is Stine and today I'm here with you for another yarn talk video. And as always, we cannot talk yarn and crochet related things without me having my faithful mug of tea, which today is more like a herbal blend. It's a blend from a local store here. It's just like a chain store. And it's called rest, in the sense of like relax, rest. So a blend of rest and relaxation. It's a very soft taste of lavender, lemongrass, and chamomile. So it's just, I guess, yeah, lavender does have this sort of relaxation feeling of it. And so does this. It's just this mild relaxation taste. Anyhow, it's been another busy week, and yet I did manage to jump live Wednesday evening for a little bit, where I saw a bunch of you guys, and that was absolutely lovely to hang out, and I would like to do it more. Lives are on the program to happen a bit more often, but I do need time. Basically I need to have some available time, and my schedule is a little bit too unpredictable to actually say, hey, I can do that every Wednesday at this time or whatever. Right now my lives are more like pop-up lives. Therefore, if you're a member of my channel, you do like my content, you would like to hang out a bit more with me, have those notifications turned on, because they will pop up when I go live. And of course, you're also free to rewatch them, and I have to say it was such a pleasure Wednesday evening to hang out with you guys. It really heartwarmed me, the love we share for the yarn and the love we share for the community and our crafts. So yeah, thank you absolutely so much. And if you're new to this channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because it does really support me in my road to the 1K subscribers, which is this magic milestone. And for that, I will definitely host an extra giveaway. I just haven't decided exactly yet on the contents, but it's surely to have some nice goodies in it. But let's talk about yarn and projects. So I went in Denmark last weekend to celebrate birthdays, and I brought some projects with me. I actually brought both my In-Lines Poncho and my cardigan. I did not reach to finish the amount I wanted to finish on the cardigan, but I have gotten so far that I do know that I need to repeat, do a one full repeat of the pattern. I'm trying to figure out where I actually put the pattern. It's laying somewhere else. Of course not right here where I need it, and I'm not really sure where I have put it for now. It's somewhere. But a repeat of the pattern is basically an X amount of fan period. Let's see if we can get it. So a full repeat would be, you can see here that this is where it increases to a new fan. So this would be like one full repeat of this pattern up here, I do believe. Yes, from here to all the way up where you have the stitch marker, where I would add the next fan outbuild. So I need one more full repeat of that, and then it might be 2 centimeters too wide in the diameter. And honestly, I decided those 2 centimeters, it's not bad to have, because, you know, yeah, it's just not bad to have. Right now, I think it's a bit short. I'd rather have it a bit longer. So honestly, those 2 centimeters is gonna be very little, because it's not based on where I enter the arms. It's just based on everything that's around, like the bottom length, because it's worked in a circle. I really should have the pattern. I'm disappointed I didn't bring it with me here. Again, we are humans, and that is how it is. So I am right now, I finished the last repeat of the full pattern. You could probably stop halfway in that pattern to reach the desired size, but I think it seems just nice to kind of work it all off so it's equally and it fits with all the pattern repetitions. What I did reach to do was that I reached to sew in all my ends except one, which is the latest end, so to say, which I just created when I added the latest ball of yarn. I tend to first work in those ends as late as possible to make sure that I have gotten the complete round and have made no folds. And that's when I sew in the ends. And when I'm looking at where that was, I could probably sew in the ends now. So that is something I will be doing today before I proceed crocheting and starting a new round. So, but let's hold this guy up so you can see it a bit better. This is what we have. So you can see here, the width here between the arms is not increasing, but I'm working around because this is one big circle. So that's increasing. So the color you kind of get here will get a bit longer, as well as at the front side here and the depth. But it's also made so like you can you can crochet and insert here front pieces to ensure you have more coverage here. And of course you also need to work in the arms. And what I do believe I'm going to do is that I will be reading the pattern through once more. So what I need to do first is obviously create a full repeat of this, which is basically, let me just count for a moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's another 10 rounds, full rounds. And obviously, since I am increasing every round takes increasingly longer to complete. I'm going to do another 10 rounds on this, and then the whole back piece is basically done. And then I'm probably gonna see if it's possible to work in the arms first and then see how much yarn I have left to estimate how much extra I can add here, and if I would maybe or maybe not need to buy extra yarn. I think I bought an extra skein back in the day. I don't remember, but I think I did. It's a while ago. I could go rewatch that video of the yarn haul because that would definitely tell if I did or not. And of course I am using my 3.5mm hook for this project, and it is, so this is my current ball I have ongoing. This is a Drops a Baby Merino. So they come in these hanks, so you can see it's a pretty new donut. So let's have a look at it. This is a light gray, and I chose a light gray because I want something that could be used for a bit of everything, every colors. I didn't want 100% black because that's very black, and I didn't want white because white gets dirty a bit quicker. So I decided an option for a lighter gray. And the idea is, at least I'm going to use this myself, but it wouldn't be the first garment that I create that I didn't like the fit of and end up actually giving away. We will have to see what happens with this one. Hopefully I like it because I put in a lot of effort into this piece. And drop patterns really sucks to figure out how they are put together. So these balls, they are, as I said, 50 grams. So that is 1.75 ounces to 175 meters, which is 191 yards. It's 100% a baby merino wool, and it is a super wash treated baby merino, which means that I can use this in the washing machine. And it is very ever so soft. And it doesn't really even, yeah, it does smell a little bit like wool, but you know, it doesn't really feel like wool in that sense, but you can feel it's a natural fiber. It is actually a quite wonderful yarn, this baby merino. So in that sense, I really do enjoy it. They recommend 3mm knitting needles. I'm using a 3.5mm crochet hook. It's the yarn group 8, so that is some of the thinnest yarns that Drops have. I would probably call this a 2-weight. Let's see, washing instructions, just a moment. The washing instruction says here, you can iron at low, lay flat to dry. You can wash at 40 degrees Celsius, so that is 104 Fahrenheit, and that can go in the machine, but only do gentle rotations in that machine. So yeah, it's like a light machine wash, so to say. You can dry clean it. Do not put this one in the dryer. If you put this in the dryer, it will probably shrink. So what you can do, I guess, if you make a project that's too big, you could put it in the dryer and hope it doesn't shrink too much. that is a gamble you would have to take. Actually, I did that with a couple of socks last year around this time. Maybe in February, but still February last year. I ended up crocheting a pair of socks that were too big. I stuffed them into the dryer and guess what? They fit. I had not expected that. It was just 100% gamble. Like I was going to wash them. I was like, okay, they're still too big. Okay, I'm going to take the gamble and put them in the dryer. And they did shrink to actually be exactly my foot size. So I don't complain about that, though I've not used them as much as I thought I would. I guess I like knitted socks a bit more than crocheted socks. But this one is progressing really nicely. I am quite happy about the progress of this. So I am going to add one more repetition. And when we get there, I am going to then do a semi-fit for you guys so you can get a better idea of how this one looks. But I'm not gonna do that before I finished all these extra rounds that I'm needing to do. Another 10 rounds and you will see a pre-fit on me. I know it does fit because I've done a little bit of a pre-fit when I was in Denmark chatting with my mom, trying to figure out how much more do I need to do. And the conclusion is, and I did some sins, by the way, and now I'm not in doubt. I'm just doing one full complete repeat. That's gonna be okay. Then I'd rather have it a little bit roomy, a little bit too big than too small, because if it's too small, you won't definitely use it. If it's too big, you know, if it's just a little bit too big, it's not too bad. That will probably even be comfortable. So that's for my Oasis Cardigan by Drops Design. And of course, as always, I have links to these projects in the description box down below if you're curious of the pattern. And if you want to download the pattern or see the pattern. For the drops, it's a free pattern, but it is a pain in the to read. If you are doing this pattern yourself and you have questions for it, I will try my best to answer them. Do not see me as a help box for it, but I will be happy to try answer your questions. Feel free to do any comments on that here in the comments down below, or you can hit me up by email. And the email address you can find on my YouTube profile page. So, the next project I am working on is the In-Lines Poncho. And the In-Lines Poncho is by Tante Traad, which is a Danish designer. And it is in alpaca. And it's absolutely wonderful and soft. This is what I have left right now on the cake. And it starts like this. Wow, huh? I can't believe how small this is. So I started at Christmas, but it is also the project that I've mainly been using for when I've been driving. Not as when I've been driving, but when I've been a passenger in the car, because we've been driving a few places, such as at Christmas, we went to Denmark. On the way home, I was working on this. Denmark, the drive to my parents, including the ferry, if no traffic and queues, and if we exclude rest stops for food and toilets, is 9.5 hours. And then the traffic is really smooth, no issues, right? So that is a bit of a drive for sure. 9.5 hours is definitely what we need to expect spending on it. Sometimes you also have to wait on the ferry if we're too early, etc. But if I'm not driving and it's not too dark in the car, then I'm the passenger and I'm not sleeping, whatever. I have been working on this. So I worked on that all the way back, which is also, you can see the progress in my past yarn talks. Then I went to Germany 2 weekends ago, where I crocheted a bit. I think I maybe did 2 rounds or something like that. Then last weekend, I went to Denmark again, and I crocheted on the way there and on the way back on this project. I didn't really do much when I was there, maybe half a round or something like that. But that was more like, you know, I spent time with my family. I don't see them very often. It gets kind of intense. And then, yeah, I've actually been crocheting on the live Wednesday on it for a bit. And I do also crochet on this one when I watch stuff on TV with my partner, which we do from time to time. And that's a perfect couch TV watching project as well, because it's so mindlessly easy. Front post, back post, front post, back post, double crochets. Except for the ends, but yeah, that's it. So that's what I've been doing, and it's really progressed a lot since last time, because you can really see the color changes here. Like, I think this is the most gorgeous change from this blue to this very light blue, like this royal blue, I would say, almost navy blue, to this lighter blue. It is so gorgeous. So what I am gonna do, because I have the thread here, I am going to take this one on to give you guys a really good idea of how this temporary looks. And I'm sitting with it again here, and I'm like, no doubt this heats up so nicely around my shoulders. It really does. It's very, like, you know, when I'm sitting here, I'm like, I could make a sweater of this. You know, here we would just slowly have to prepare for the arms. You could probably continue here and continue, like, I'm not really sure how I would do it, but I have the feeling it's definitely possible. Though, looking at how much I have here and looking how much yarn, I would probably need a skein more at least to be able to do that if I wanted to. And obviously it's not done up here either. But this is sideways worn. You can also, because these tips, you can wear them either on the side, but you can also choose to wear them a front way. So if I would choose to, and do not mind the end not sewing in here, but if I would choose to wear it front way, actually, you can see here now how this is really starting to cover my shoulders. Wow, I'm actually surprised, because I have the feeling when I just sit with it that it's smaller, but actually I've done quite some progress. And this matches my shirt that I have underneath, just coincidentally, but so I really enjoy this. So this is, I started a new round here. So what I have to do is, obviously I need to finish this. So I just need to crochet all the way around. And it is front post, double crochet, back post, double crochet, front post, and it fits. So all the front posts go on each other and all the back posts on each other, and that gives this rippling effect. Then when I start a new row, which is what you can see here, is that I slip stitch into the last chain, and then slip stitch into the center. Then I do, the pattern recommend three chains and then a double crochet. I do 2 chains before the double crochet, and that is due to when I do the 3s, the space gap and everything around seems to get so much bigger and larger, where the chain 2 seems to fit more with, I guess it's maybe to do my tension. So then I do basically a double crochet, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets all worked into this space. And then I start front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way onto the other end, where I then work in the space, because there's equally spaces here on the back, which of course you can't see right now, but as you can see, spaces as well. And these spaces I would work in 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then I would go back to the front post, back post, front post, back post. And because it is constantly increasing, it is so easy. Like, it's a mindlessly easy project. Nothing not to like. So what I will do is I'm going to read through the pattern, because eventually I need to make a cowl here. So it kind of heats up here a bit, so that you get like a sort of edge added to this, that add a bit of height here, so you can like have a little bit of a warmer piece on the neck, as you can see on the pattern. And from there I will have to work on the outside of the skein, and to ensure it has long enough length, I will when I've entered this end, the white, I will pull from the inside of this skein and work until there's no more yarn left. So what I do think I want to do to make sure that I have enough for the cowl and in the right colors, is that I'm going to read the pattern and then probably add this piece first, and then work that piece down afterwards. That's my current plan, but this one still takes a bit. Probably done before we see each other next time, but that's another story. And then I will start here on the outer edge. And this is such a gorgeous, wonderful, lovely cake. This is a YarnArt cake, YarnArt Flowers Alpaca, and these are basically as good as what would you call them? The Hobbii alpaca wheels, which this pattern is made of. So yeah, alpaca flowers. So let's talk about this one just shortly. The alpaca flowers is, they say you need 2 times 500 grams to make a medium-sized sweater. That's maybe, and that's also knitting. Crocheting does usually eat up a little bit more yarn. And I have a feeling this stitch eats a little bit more yarn. It does, but it's eating only compared to double crochets a little bit more. And that has to do with you're not working into the loops, but you're working around the posts of the double crochet. They're classifying it as a 2-weight yarn. I am working with a 5mm crochet hook for this project, even though this one recommends a 3.5mm. And that is probably due to the halo and the fluffiness of the yarn. And based on that alone, I would say this is probably closer to a 3-weight than a 2-weight. I think it's thicker than a 2-weight personally. So I would probably personally call this a 3-weight yarn. 250 grams is enough for a shawl. Hand wash at 30 degrees Celsius, so that's 85 degrees Fahrenheit. You can iron it at low, you can dry clean it, lay flat to dry. Do not tumble dry for the love of the God, because else it will shrink, and do not bleach. That's pretty much it for this, and it's made in Turkey by YarnArt. And YarnArt's alpaca flowers have some of the same colorways as the Hobbii alpaca wheels, though YarnArt flowers have some different colors as well, just like the Hobbie's alpaca wheels also have some different colors that the YarnArt flowers doesn't have. But the yarn specs are absolutely the same, so don't tell me any otherwise. I do feel it's the same company, just adding different labels to the yarns and charging different prices. So, but yeah, that is the progress of this, and I am actually kind of super stoked on how it's been going, and it feels really warm. I almost don't want to take it off now. But yeah, I should, because it's gonna be easier as there are still yarn ends added to this, and then I might end up forgetting I have this nice cozy warm thing on, and then, well, it becomes a yarn mess. Yes. So, I do have 2 more projects I'm working on. But yarn talks so easily. The next project I am working on is my mosaic, mosaic crochet project, which is a overlaid style. And I am working here a pattern called Fleur. Fleur is a pattern by Anke Wintermans. And this is the first time ever I do Mosiac crochet. So bear with me, I am definitely not flawless. This is how we're looking. Last time I had completed 11 rounds, I do believe. Actually, no, last yarn talk I hadn't completed anything since the last yarn talk before. But since last yarn talk, I've completed 2 more rounds. So we are now at a row 13, and it's worked in the round in Overlay Mosiac. And you can slowly see a little bit more pattern forming here. And the back side is actually working up nicer than I thought it would. Still, I would probably consider some sort of backing for it for when this project is done. So yeah, I'm keeping the tongue straight in my mouth when doing these. So far, I think it's going okay for what this is. I have linked to the pattern by Anke Wintermans, the Fleur pattern, here down below. It is a Ravelry, a paid pattern. She does some absolutely awesome designs. And on the web store, Yarn Plaza, I think .com, we would call here in the Netherlands. I would enter woolplein.nl, but they do have an English web store as well. They actually do have yarn packages containing the exact amount of yarns for different colorways and color combinations for this pattern, and you can even buy those yarn packages including the pattern should you want to do that. I ended up buying it loose in Ravelry and the yarn loose because I actually ended up saving like €1 doing so. I do not know if there is still any price benefits to that. So, but that's just a heads up. And these are the current yarns I'm using. Just quickly, shortly, I have more yarns coming up. White is going to be the going through color of all of them, and eventually this burgundy red will be faded out to a different, I do believe, a brighter red. We're going to, this is going to be my year project. It's probably, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be finished after you're looking how far I am now in the month of January. I'm in doubt if I actually will be done at the end of the year. Different story. But I will try my best to get it done, and else we will just talk about this Mosaic project for the next 2 years. Who knows? Everything obviously depends. I'm using Stylecraft Special DK yarns for it. Quickly to talk about these Stylecraft yarns. They can be washed at 30 degrees Celsius, so 85 degrees Fahrenheit. They can actually be tumble dried if you do that at cold. They can be ironed at cold. You can dry clean them. And they recommend a 4mm crochet hook, which is basically what I've been using. And yeah, as I said, this is a burgundy, and I do believe the other one is cream white. So that are the two labels for these two yarns that I am working on here. And I'm just gonna basically put them back in the crate where I can keep track of them reasonably easy. Gonna see if I can at least add some more rows to this. I have my little note lining down what row I am at to, for me, easier keep track of it. Yeah, I'm using my 4mm crochet hook for that. And then I did start a new project. We talked about it shortly last time that I was going to start on a new project. And now I did start on it, and that is dragonscale gloves, which is something I've done before. So there is nothing new in that. It's a part of I need to clean out my stash. And I want to use this yarn because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. The colors are stunning. And I think they would be absolutely perfect for dragonscale gloves. I did them in the past also with the same brand of yarn, but a different colorway. And the result was that I found they were a little bit tight. So I'm changing up the pattern a bit for the dragonscale gloves. Plus, I do want to do a different, what you call this, shaft for the arm part of the glove. So I do have a few things that I'm working on to do that. And the yarn I'm using is this absolutely freaking gorgeous yarn. It is a Hobbii yarn. It's the Hobbii Carnival. It also has this gorgeous purple in it. It almost looks black on the screen right now, but it is purple due to lighting. I do believe it's a colorway named Rio. I think it's gorgeous. It's like lovely, super soft. It is 100% premium acrylic. It's roving style and it's easy to work with, though you don't want to flog this. You don't want to frog this too often. If it frogs, it tends to snag a bit. And then it fusses and so on. And that is because probably of the roving style. Oh, you can actually see easier now that it's purple in here. It's very gorgeous, this yarn. Absolutely gorgeous. I think it's so stunning. So this is the progress so far. I've made 7 rows here of scales, and if I am going to take this on, that is pretty much, you can see. So that is the fingerless dragonscale gloves that I'm working on here. And the place I'm gone to now is that I need to take out here for the thumb. That is basically the next step. I added an extra row compared to my old design because I think it's nicer as well. I think this really looks gorgeous, and it really also showcases the color very nicely and easily. Obviously the second one is not going to be an exact copy of this, and it doesn't matter, but they are definitely going to be a pair. And yeah, I'm going to have some sort of ribbing effect as well. So we're talking about a bunch of front post, back post, double crochets, but hey, I'm good at making them. But yeah, so right now my project is basically to take out for the thumb hole and make sure that I can work the rest of this project up nicely. So that is my next working plans, so to say. And the Hobbii Carnival yarn, I do have the label here. And as I said, it's 100% premium acrylic. They are these skeins, when they're new, they are 100 grams, so 3.5 ounces, to 240 meters of yarn, so that's 262 yards. Recommend a 4 to 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. I am using a 4 millimeter hook. They classify this as a lightweight 3 yarn, and if this is a lightweight 3 yarn, the Hobbii Alpaca is definitely also a lightweight 3, because hook-wise or thread-wise, size-wise, they feel really, really similar. Can be washed at 30 degrees, so 85 degrees Fahrenheit, or 30 degrees Celsius. Do not tumble dry, do not iron, do not bleach, can be dry cleaned. And of course, lay flat to dry, and it's made in Turkey. It's gorgeous. There's not really much more to say than it's gorgeous. The last thing that I am going to do is that I've started to collect my labels, my yarn labels, and I'm going to see if I can do monthly updates on the progress I've made in the past month. Of course, the progress will be different from month to month, depending on what I am doing and real life and everything. But when I start a new skein, and I'm trying to finish up the projects, of course, I'm not always as good as wrapping up these projects and whips, but generally, when I start a new project, the idea is to take the label and I'm placing it in a box. And at the end of that month, I am going to go through that box, see how many meters / yards of yarn did I work up. Of course, I may not finish all the skeins of the labels I put in the box, so the numbers might deviate from month to month, but it also means that another month I might be working on a more or less new skein, bigger skein, and towards the end of that month I might not have added that many new labels. And then at the end of the year, I also want to do a complete update for like January, February, March, etc. That's the goal. So I'm trying to get an overview of how much yarn I'm actually using and working up during the year. So that is also something that I'm going to do, and I'm actually quite curious as to how that will work out. The last thing that I want to say is that next week I will not be around because I will be away. I will have a few events going on, so I will not be able to pop on for a yarn talk video, and I have a few other things scheduled for your entertainment. We have some flip through book reviews, first impressions. We have, of course, a new giveaway coming up. I'm not sure if I will reach to make this short displaying yarn labels before or after I get home. So it might be a slightly bit delayed, the first one, but there will come a January version. And that basically means that for the next week and a half, I'm gonna be busy. You will see me again for a new yarn talk video in 2 weeks time, and that is going to be on the, oh my goodness, what date would that be? That's gonna be in February, and that is going to be on February the 9th. So until then, I am going to be quite busy. You will have a new giveaway video coming up next week. I will be back to draw the winner before the Yarn Talk video, and so that will be I will draw the winner on the 7th. So the giveaway will come out on the 2nd, and the draw will be on the 7th. And we also have a new series coming up, which is going to be like towards end of February, I expect, which is going to be like shop and sort my yarn stash, which is something I really need to get done because, surprise, I wouldn't say I have too much yarn because I'm still of the opinion you can't have too much yarn. But the fact is I need to get my stash sorted. I need to get a mental overview of it. I know what I have approximately. I also have a good idea of where it is, etc. But I really need to get it sorted and go through it for various reasons. And I have so much that I basically need to put myself a little bit on a yarn purchase ban, which means that I do have 3 yarn hauls coming up on the channel, but they have already been bought and added to the stash. But I will not buy any more yarns for a bit, and I will instead spend the time to go through my stash so we can enjoy my yarns together, and I can try to decide what I'm going to do with them. So I have some projects planned, so they will be sorted definitely in yarn brands and yarn types, but they will also be sorted in, do I have a project for them? And do I have so I have specific projects where I already know what patterns, etc. I want to use, so that's easy. Then I have those that I know that I eventually going to do this project, and then I have those where I'm not actually sure anymore what I want to do with them. Those I'm not sure anymore is probably going to go into the section called give away or sell. And I just need to get some yarns onto the marketplace and sell some of these yarns to see if there is somebody that's wanting to help me destash some yarns. Optionally, I could consider maybe making mystery box and throw them on Etsy. But the thing is, I think they will be pretty expensive for Americans to get, depending on how heavy these are, because the shipping to America is pretty outrageous. But that's just how it is. So that's the thing I'm thinking on right now. I'm always happy for input from you guys as to what to do. And if you want to give me input, you're very welcome to comment here in the description box down below if you have suggestions, etc. What is for sure is that I will be back on 9th of February with a new Yarn Talk video, and I'm sure that plenty of things have happened from now until then. And lots of progress has been made as well. That's what I hope. So we will definitely have a ton of things to talk about when we get there. So until I catch up with you guys again, I wish you a great week ahead and a great coming week, etc. I wish you all the pleasure in your crafts. So yeah, basically happy crafting and take care until I see you again. Bye.